Hej och välkomna. Oerhört roligt att se så många kommit till denna höstkonferens. And I would for a moment like to switch to English and also welcome our international guests from Germany, Norway, and as far away as Bangladesh. We're really happy to see you here as well. Well, I wrote down some things in the taxi on the way here that I plan to say here, but my handwriting is so lousy, so I can't read what I was thinking of talking about. But I'll make some spontaneous reflections. As you all know, the world seems to be quite psychotic at the moment. The last week, we've seen things unimaginable, and we have seen it actually for quite a long time, that the world seems to be going into some kind of psychosis where religious delusions create so much suffering that it's really unbearable. And this, of course, makes the project of secular humanism and the vision of secular humanism even more important than ever. I'm still very confused by our opponents, so to speak, that always tries to confuse us with atheism, tries to confuse secular humanism with atheism. I've heard so many times people saying to me that, oh, you're an atheist, and look what atheist has done, communism, Stalin, North Korea, and so on and so forth. This is obviously not true, because atheism isn't the reason for what they did in Soviet Union or North Korea or whatever, but it's not true even in another sense, because atheism leads to nothing, of the simple reason that atheism has no values. Atheism is just a statement on your view on the existence of God. It leads to absolutely nothing. Atheism in itself. To believe that atheism leads to anything, it's just as silly as saying that you can get better and finally excel in not playing football. I mean, it's absurd. It's obvious to anyone. Atheism leads to nothing, it leads nowhere, but secular humanism leads somewhere. And if you are a secular humanist, you're also a naturalist in the sense of your worldview, therefore you are also an atheist. Fine, but that's just one of many consequences of secular humanism, and it's not the important one, even if it's obviously true that if you're a secular humanist, you're also an atheist. But atheism has no values, but secular humanism has values. I think this is really important to stress this difference. And I'm not saying that you should be ashamed of calling yourself an atheist, because I'm an atheist, obviously, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is that I'm a secular humanist. Secular humanism has values. It is centered on not only humans, I would say, but centered on earthly life, at least until they find life on Mars. Maybe we shall include them as well. We'll see about that when that day comes. It's centered on a moral derived from human values, not godly ideas, godly dogmas. It's centered on the human moral compass. It's centered on secular ethics. It's centered on a scientific worldview instead of mythological worldview. Secular humanism is a complete worldview with values, normative ideas, descriptive philosophical ideas. That is the important thing. I'll switch to Swedish for a short moment. No, first I'll say a few more things in English, actually. Because of the situation in the world now, the psychotic situation in the world, as I said, it's really important that secular humanism is pushing forward their positions. And I would say that that is actually happening also in Sweden. We have, for a few years now, not been growing as an organization, but now we see a tendency that we actually grow in the membership numbers in Sweden. And politically, we have influence on what is happening in Sweden. We've been able to get into the school curriculum that children should not only learn about Christianity and Islam and Judaism in school, they're also supposed to learn about secular humanism. That is actually in the curriculum, in the state school curriculum, since 2011. We've just released a book the Swedish Humanist has just released a book called Secular Humanism for the schools, for the teachers, because the Swedish school books hasn't included secular humanism yet. It takes time to rewrite these books. So we published this quite easy readable book for the Swedish schools, so they can incorporate secular humanism in the curriculum. That's really an important goal that we have fulfilled now, I would say. I think I'll switch to Swedish for a little moment. Most of you are Swedish here in the room. Ja, vad jag försöker säga är alltså att vi har faktiskt uträttat en hel del i Sverige, även om vårt medlemsantal inte har vuxit så himla mycket på sista tiden. Det börjar göra det nu, men vi har åstadkommit en hel del annat. Ni vet att vi några år nu har haft en sekulär högtidsstund i samband med riksdagens öppnande till exempel, där vi har så att säga, en alternativ samling, samma klockslag som Storkyrkan i Gamla stan har sin gudstjänst, som man tidigare förknippat med riksdagens öppnande. I år var det första gången som ministrar kom till vår samling. 2 statsråd ur regeringen valde vår samling för Storkyrkan. Det har mycket stort symbolpolitiskt värde. Morgan Johansson och Anders Ygeman kom till vår samling. Och från och med nästa år så kommer vi att inkluderas i riksdagens officiella inbjudan. Och det här är naturligtvis symboliskt bara. Det är ju symbolpolitik, men det är väldigt viktig symbolpolitik. Från och med nästa år så kommer Svenska kyrkan och Humanisterna att finnas med i riksdagens officiella inbjudan. Kanske fler, det vet inte jag naturligtvis, men det har de sagt att så ska gälla. Det är ett stort framsteg, även om det är symboliskt. Vi har länge hävdat att den svenska lagstiftningen kring statligt stöd till trossamfund måste göras livsåskådningsneutral. Nu har det äntligen beslutats av regeringen att det ska tillsättas någon form av översyn av de här reglerna. Vi har ju från Humanisternas håll sagt att det allra bästa vore att man slutade ge statligt stöd till livsåskådningar överhuvudtaget. Men om man nu gör detta så ska likvärdighetsprincipen gälla, det vill säga humanisternas bör ha rätt till detta på samma villkor som kristna, muslimska, buddhistiska samfund. Nu kommer regeringen göra en översyn av det här, och nu har faktiskt kulturministern bett om ett möte i januari för att prata om det här, så jag kommer träffa henne då. Och jag vågar inte tro att det här kommer ändras under nästa år, men det finns åtminstone en riktning, en rörelse i det här som är viktig och som jag skulle vilja säga går vår väg. Vi har fått en ny fixstjärna när det gäller internationell hälsa i media, Hans Rosling. Man kan tycka mycket om honom, men jag träffade honom häromdagen och han var alltså nere i Visby i fredags på inbjudan av Humanisterna i Visby och höll en föreläsning, eller 2 rättare sagt, för sammanlagt 3000 personer. Det är naturligtvis fantastiskt att en person som sitter och lunchar med Bill och Melinda Gates ställer upp för Humanisterna utan att ta betalt och föreläser i vår organisations eller en lokalförenings namn om internationella frågor och världsutvecklingen. Jag träffade honom över en lunch förra veckan och han berättade för mig att hans familj har varit hardcore ateister i flera generationer, vilket var rätt roligt. Det var fullständigt självklarhet för honom. Han berättade till och med att hans gamla farmor, tror jag det var någon i släkten som hade valt att ha ett kyrkbröllop och farmor vägrade att gå på bröllopet för att det var en kyrka. Det är hardcore det. Om 2 veckor kommer Richard Dawkins till Stockholm. Han är här för att promota sin nya bok, men han kommer naturligtvis också promota sekulär humanism, det är alldeles uppenbart. Han kommer ha ett stort event på Cirkus för 1600 personer. Han kommer vara intervjuad i alla de stora dagstidningarna. Han kommer sitta med i Skavlan. Han kommer vara guest of honor at the Nobel Banquet, inbjuden av Kungliga Vetenskapsakademin. Och det är klart att sånt här har mycket stor betydelse. Det är förstås bra för humanisterna, but it's even more important for the secular humanism. He is promoting secular humanism. And you don't have to agree with everything that Dawkins says, but still he's an important voice for the secular humanism. So anyway, I think that we're making progress. I think that's important. We are making progress, even if it looks, really dark right now in the world. The brief candle in the dark is almost not there. I think also that it's important that we create alliances with secular religious people. I mean, in these times where Islamic State is doing what they are doing, it's really important to recognize the forces within the other religions, not at least Islam at the moment, that are opposing this, fighting against it. I'm working a little bit with a Swedish Muslim woman called Hanna Gadban. She's written a book about the radicalization of Islam in Sweden. She's very controversial. Some people hate what she says. She's threatened, but she's doing a really, really important job. And she's a Muslim. She's a believing Muslim. We should support those people who does that, because we need to work together when we're fighting these bizarre delusions that Islamic State is proposing. And I think we have to realize that we are in a third world war right now. I mean, we see alliances between Russia, America, and Iran working together to fight ISIS. It is actually a third world war. We have to face that. It's so easy here in Sweden to think that we live in complete security and we've not been in war for 200 years, but this is the third world war. And we must understand that ISIS is not just a terrorist organization that wants to destroy things. Their project is not to destroy things. Their project is to build something up. They want to create something. They want to create a well-functional society after they got rid of the people that should not be included according to their worldview. And you have to realize that for the ordinary man on the street, they're actually making the situation better in some areas. They rebuild the roads, they fix the electricity, they create vaccine programs for the children, they take away all the corruption. So of course it's safer for the ordinary shop owner on the street as long as you stay to the rules of the Islamic State. And that is why the people on the ground is not sort of revolutionizing against them. So it's really important to understand this. I mean, ISIS is the new Nazi movement. The Nazis failed because we thought them down. We have to make ISIS fail by fighting them down as well. I'm really convinced about that. And therefore, even the secular humanist movement has to create alliances also with religious people who has the same view on that. That's really my conviction. Anyway, I shall stop here. I hope you will have a good 2 days here in Stockholm at ABF, and I hope to see you later during the day. Thank you.